Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Well, today on the show, we have Andy and Kaitlyn from hard rock band Victoria Fire.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, save me, all the shame crying through. And I don't think you'd like if you knew I've grown so cold to know I'm all alone. Save me from breaking down. Save me.
I just wanted to start out by digging into your history. What was something that got you into music? Was it like a band or a concert you went to?
Um, well, I have to give credit to my one of my good friends in middle school and in high school. Um, my friend Craig, he actually introduced me to sort of like the hard rock alternative metal music when we were in I think it was eighth grade. And I remember I think my parents had Comcast, and it was one of those channels like where they had just started those music channels where like it would just play the same like music videos. It wasn't necessarily like it wasn't like MTV. It was just constant videos. And I remember watching like there was like Saliva, Metallica. Now it's funny, I actually think like Nickelback on there too. But that was something that, I distinctly remember. And then I also started listening to, I was just telling Andy this, the first bands that I really listened to were like Stained and Cold. So my parents ended up getting me this like um stereo system for my room, and I would just sit in my room and jam some rock music.
Yeah, for me, I was kind of into like the pop stuff and like hip hop and some stuff in like the early '90s, like when I was really young, and I think it might have been like STP's Core that was like the changer for me. I heard that and just something clicked with that style of music, and that just led me down the rabbit hole. Obviously, like with all of the 90s grunge, and that's my bread and butter, really. So I just started buying every CD I could. So every time a new Smashing Pumpkins or the Offspring or Pearl Jam or Nirvana, anything came out, I was grabbing that. So that was kind of the start of the madness. And then like how I got into playing. So my dad's a drummer, actually. He's been playing his whole life. And I went to some of his shows when I was younger, and really loved that. And then he kind of got me like in school. I was doing some drum lessons and stuff, and I was playing with him and learned some stuff from him. And so I started out as a drummer, and me and some high school friends just started a band with me on drums, and that kind of took me through high school, really, just doing the grunge stuff and playing that. And then I just as I got into college, I kind of transitioned to guitar because it was more convenient for you know having it in a dorm room. So, and then I just really fell in love with that, and 15, 20 years later, here we are.
Okay. Kaitlyn, who are some of your musical influences as far as vocals?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think there are a lot. I love Flyleaf. I really liked Evanescence when they first came out. Gosh, Alanis Morissette, but then I also love like Sarah McLachlan. Gosh, no, I'm trying to think. I think pulling on too, whenever we work on covers, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm drawn to like Breaking Benjamin, or I think just like anything like melodic, just sort of speaks to me. Uh, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot, I guess a lot of influences. And then also, I think in high school, like I used to listen to like OTEP as well. So it's sort of like eclectic, I guess. I love you know, my husband kind of makes fun of me because when sometimes when I'm just in the zone, I'll listen to like really like laid back, like chill music, like Sarah McLachlan or Natalie Merchant, and it's so like not, it's so different from like rock and metal. It's like, what are you listening to? Like, I need to shut the door, but I like it, and it's it still makes you feel something.
Okay. Andy, as far as guitar, who were some of your influences?
Like I said, like the grunge stuff really caught me, just the guitars and just the aggressiveness of it. That was kind of what led me down the path. But Jerry Cantrell's always been a huge one for me. Because he's not like a super shredder necessarily, but he's just so tasteful, and everything that he puts down to, his parts are just perfect for the music, and obviously just so he's kind of a pioneer in that dungeon style of just riffage, I guess. And that was really cool to me. There's not really too many out there like him at all. So he was always one. And with my dad being so into music, I mean, he has a gigantic record collection. I mean, I got started on all the classics. I gravitated towards Zeppelin. I listened to all of their classic albums like over and over, and Jimmy Page, even though he was another one that not maybe he's not the most technically proficient of all guitar players ever, but just something about the way he plays, just it catches you. And then later, I got more into the early 2000s stuff, just that style, like Chevelle and Breaking Benjamin and Stained, a lot of the same ones. That's why me and Kaitlyn kind of just hit it right away because we liked all that same stuff. And Deftones has always been my favorite. Anyone who knows me knows that's my favorite band. Just that's another band where it's more like the sum of the parts. Like individually, they're not all doing anything like out of this world, but you just put it all together, and the way that it all sounds as a sum is just so unique. And because if you break down the guitar parts, sometimes they're pretty simple, you know, but they really add up, and just layering and stuff is so important. And so those are the type of things that I kind of have always gravitated towards, like when I'm listening to music. I love putting the headphones on and really listening for like all of those sonic qualities and stuff. So
Okay. Can you tell me the story on how the band formed?
I guess I can start. It was all my fault. All my fault. Um, I was kind of, well, not so much fresh out of a previous project, but because I had definitely taken some time off. I spent a lot of time um, in a previous band, and it didn't work out. And I took some time and felt like, okay, like it's all good. Like I'm going to try to form something new. So if I have no idea what I'm doing, I have no idea how to form a band. So I ended up, I was on Craigslist and I found, you know, found a couple people to jam with. Ultimately, found Andy as well. And we sort of ended up we went from jamming with a couple different people to jamming with Andy's uh, very good friend and our well-known bassist Corey. He ended up joining the band, and from there we went on. Dan Moore was our drummer for quite a while, and we recently found Dean. So our lineup has changed, but it's kind of how we started. I guess we're like a Craigslist story.
Yeah, I know that. Like at the time, I was really looking for something, um, something new that I hadn't done yet, really, because I had mostly played covers in most bands up until that point. I had dabbled a little bit with, I had joined some bands that they already had some songs, and so I wasn't really writing a lot. I was just kind of contributing a little bit of, I could have a little bit of a say here or there in a guitar part, but I wasn't really writing stuff from the ground up so much. Um, so I was really looking to do that at some point, and I had actually put out my own solo EP a couple years earlier. I had to outsource to get a vocalist to come in and do some stuff for me. Shout out to my guy Nick. So that was like I got my first real taste of writing my own material and kind of what that felt like, and I knew I wanted to try to find a band where I could co-write everything as much as possible and just kind of create something new, and just happened to get lucky with the Craigslist search and found Kaitlyn, and we shared all the same influences and stuff, and I knew that and she had something really unique with her voice that I thought just melodic. I knew it was going to fit well with the type of riffs and stuff that I was going to bring in. So it was just a matter of kind of finding the other pieces, which eventually we did, and we got moving on it. So yeah, like kind of just Craigslist is weird because it's just a numbers game. Like you meet a lot of people, and it doesn't always work out with a lot of them. But there's just definitely diamonds in the rough when you try to do that. So
Like when you first got together, did you like decide, okay, this is what I want the band to be like, and this is the sound and that?
I think I always had this idea in my mind. It was more general, like I want to find um I want to find others to like write music with. So for me, I was really looking for to be part of something where I could write melodies and write lyrics and create vocals. And as soon as I met Andy, like, I realized like, okay, like this is a guy, like he's really talented, and he's also open to me bringing my ideas to the table, which is wonderful because that's always been something that's been really important to me, is to be able to like express myself in that way. Um, but I really think our sound has just like evolved. I don't think we had an exact idea when we started. I think it's changed, and I think um, I know Andy, like a lot of the riffs that he's brought to the table, like are riffs that like he's actually come up with like years ago. But I think too, like when we like the finished product of our upcoming EP is it's not identical, and the vocals are very different. So it sort of goes through its own like stage of growth.
yeah, for sure. Like you know, yeah, the instrumental parts of most of these songs on this first album are some of them are pretty old. They might go back to 2015 or 14. Some of them were things songs that I was planning on putting on my solo EP that just really didn't work out. I decided to table them, and I had worked with some other singers, and it just wasn't, it wasn't really clicking the way I assumed it would. So yeah, I kind of held on to some of them, and like any songwriter, some stuff you just decide isn't good enough, and you throw it in the trash, and it just doesn't make the light of day. But others, you think there's something there, but it obviously needs a lot of work, and it's going to go through stages. And yeah, that's kind of where this first EP's worth of material instrumentally has come from. And then yeah, Kaitlyn added so many cool new elements to it that I like. Some of the songs I even had a harmony, a melody for, and a whole new set of a different set of lyrics. And when I heard what she was doing, I let her start from a blank slate. I didn't even let her hear that stuff. And what she came up with was so much cooler and more interesting than what I had. And I was just like, all right, well, let me just throw that out and let her do her thing. I can obviously help her when if she gets stuck with a melody or something like that. I always have ideas, but I'd rather let her, start from the ground up with it and see where we can take it. And then when we got to the studio working with Lee Caruso, he did help shape, like, sometimes when we hit a roadblock and things, he definitely helped shape some of the final product, for sure. So that was a big help as well.
Okay. What city is your band based out of?
Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, we just say Pittsburgh because we're all from a different part of it. Me and Kaitlyn are kind of more South Hills based. She's further south than me, but no, Corey too. Dean, he lives a little bit out west, but we're all within, you know, t- 10, 15 miles of the city, I guess. So, um, luckily, yeah, we don't have that one member who's like, 2, 3 hours away or anything like that. This definitely makes it more convenient.
Okay. Your new CD is titled Black Rose, and I wanted to like dig into it a little bit. Like, where was it produced? Who was the producer? And how long did it take to create it?
I'll let you take that, Andy. It's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's kind of became a little bit of a mini Chinese democracy situation where it took a little longer than we expected. Really, nobody in particular's fault. It's just, for starters, we started it in late 2020 actually, and COVID was already underway, so we already had restrictions as to how much we could actually even go in the studio to start with. We wanted to do as much as we could. Um, so, and to be honest with you, I think I came in. I kind of lead. I guess I drive the bus a little bit on this type of project, but I blame myself because I don't think I planned it out enough properly. I think it's a growing experience as a musician, kind of how to you know project manage these things. And I think we went in. I thought we had a good basis, but it was mostly just scratch tracks, and we laid down the drums way too early before we went back, and we kind of had to we refined some things. We were actually kind of cutting pre-choruses in half and things like that. And again, that's a lot of credit. That's a lot of credit to Lee Caruso. So yeah, you asked. So we worked with Lee Caruso of I don't know if you're familiar. He played in the band Big Atlantic. Um, but yeah, he really great musical mind. He's really helped us out a lot with a lot of different things. And we did a lot of work in Tonic's recording studios in McKeesport. Drums and vocals. We did a lot of the stuff out of Lee's house, just out of convenience because it's you can get away with that for guitars and bass and things like that. So, but yeah, it's taken a little bit of time, but and I think we had some life things that came up. Kaitlyn had during that time, and so I think
I will say, like, I'm glad that the way that it worked out, I think worked out perfectly. Um, because I know, like, personally, like, I'm thrilled with the final project, and I know that had I guess gone in the studio and recorded like all of the vocals for all of the songs in one day, and maybe that was a few years back, I don't think we definitely wouldn't have the songs that we have now. So um, I think things worked out perfectly.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree. I think obviously there's some frustration.
Can you tell I'm the optimist?
She is. Yeah, that's what's great. That's what's great about it. Yeah, Kaitlyn brings that sunny demeanor to things that I don't necessarily. So I'm always like I'm all business, and like I'm just thinking of well, what went wrong and how can we fix it. But I love Kaitlyn's positive outlook is definitely very helpful for all of us, and myself included, for sure. But yeah, no, it worked out this way, and it is better because we've definitely grown just so much in a few years since we started because we did have enough time to really dive into everything and figure out what we were doing and what we really want the songs to sound like and to project. And I think if we had rushed that and tried to cram it all into 6 months or even a year, it definitely would not have come out the way that it did. So, yeah, I think we're all really proud of it, and it's great to hit the finish line and move on to the next thing. But yeah, we're thrilled that we got here, and the way that it happened is just one of those. It's just how it is, but it's great.
First we catch fire, we combine, we align for the last time. You lose your desire, you succumb to fears that you can't hide. You're twisting and changing.
Now, Andy sent me the CD today, and I got to listen to the whole thing, and
Advance copy just for him.
it feels like the whole CD tells like a story. Am I right?
Yeah, I think it tells a lot of stories. I and speaking for myself, like, I know for probably for Andy too. I mean, like, the history behind the riffs, and like he said, like a lot of that material was written previously. And I think with when it came to the lyrics, definitely a lot of, I know, like, for me, like, a lot of the lyrics came from like memories and feelings that I had experienced in the past, and sort of just everything like unfolded um, into what it is, into the CP, which I don't know, like, if I was expecting that to happen, but it did happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like it's not a concept album or anything, but the way that it just kind of came together, the pieces fit so well. It's the most you can ask for, unless you're planning it from the beginning to because we even changed the order of the songs and things. a few times, and what we ended up with, we really like the way that it flows. Just kind of coming out of the gate, and then at some point we have an interlude, and we're kind of bringing it down a little bit before we end the EP. And yeah, I really like the way that all kind of came together. And yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's just so cool how the music that the instrumentals that I came up with, they just fit so well with Kaitlyn's lyrical ideas and moods. Um, which the way that some of the songs progress lyrically as well as instrumentally together. Obviously, it's not a coincidence; it's planned, but it took it takes time to get it there and to fit it together like that. So yeah, we're just really proud of it.
Okay, tell me about your CD release show.
Andy, I'll let you. Oh, you start out. He's so much better at business than I am.
But okay, yeah. So yeah, we're super excited about this. This is another thing that just came together so well for us. So yeah, it'll be next Saturday, November 25th. Um, the doors are at 7. The show starts at 8, and then we have 3 other amazing bands that I couldn't have really dreamed up a better lineup. Really, Storms Within from Erie, our friends we've played with a few times now, and Theriaca, and Reign of Z. I think everybody from Pittsburgh probably knows Reign of Z and probably Theriaca at this point. So, we're just thrilled to have those bands on board with us. And yeah, it really worked out well. I, was talking to Zosha about doing a show, and it just so happened that our release, we were kind of planning to have our EP release around the same time that she was looking to do a show, and at the same place, and it just kind of worked out. Well, let's just do that, and yeah, so they're co-headlining with us, and they're coming back from their tour right around the same time. So yeah, it really couldn't have worked out better, and all 3 of those bands just all bring something really unique and are just great at what they do. And we've had the pleasure of playing. Well, we haven't played with Reign of Z yet, actually, but no, we did. We did at the festival.
We did, yeah, yeah, and all awesome people. I think we've gotten the chance to hang out with everyone or all of the bands. And there's pretty awesome people.
Yes. Yeah, that's so key. That like if you're especially for like your I guess your release show, like you try to put together the best people in the lineup that you can, and like I said, we really couldn't ask for anything more. So thrilled to end the year on that note, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And it's $15 pre-sale, and I have physical tickets if anyone needs one, or they can go online and order them, and it'd be $18 at the door at Mr. Small's Funhouse. I don't even think I mentioned that, but yes. Mr. Small's Funhouse.
What do you have planned for the upcoming year?
Lots of things, hopefully. I think we already started to plan some shows. I think we're going to work on, and I say I hope, but I'm pretty sure we are going to work on some new music, writing some new music. I think that's something we've kind of been itching for because we've been putting so much focus on Black Rose and this EP. So that's something that's going to be really exciting. At least I think so. And especially with Dean, because this is our our first time getting to really write with our drummer Dean. So I know that's something that we're all looking forward to. I think just getting out there more and yeah, hopefully playing some awesome shows, getting to write some new music, and I don't know, I'm just really pumped to do as much as we can.
Yeah, we've been pretty full speed ahead for most of this year now, and I mean it'll be nice to have a little bit of a breather after this show to do some planning and try to figure some things out. But we already have a few shows that we have booked or are pending. And the main things I think we're trying to do next year differently are we're trying to work with some more out of town bands on some shows. Either bring them here, or go to their city and or swap. Just try to do some more of that, and do some little like mini weekend warrior type stuff, and hit a couple shows in a different state, do that sort of thing. And obviously we're going to play more. We're going to play more Pittsburgh shows, but I think we'll try to maybe space them out a little bit more, so we can really hammer the promotion and get more people out to all of them. And But yeah, like Kaitlyn said, obviously going to be looking to write new music. We already have a couple songs that are we've dabbled with, but we haven't had the time and the just we haven't been able to dive into them yet. But we're definitely going to be doing that. So I would imagine, my goal is, I'm hoping we can be putting out another EP by the end of next year. It might be a little ambitious, but we'll see.
Okay. How can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
All of the above. It's just Victoria Fire Band, all kind of is one word for either of those. And we're revamping a website right now that's not really operational yet, but it will be very soon.
Thanks for coming on the show. That's all the questions I have. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just get out and support local music. Whether it's us or any of the other amazing bands in Pittsburgh or elsewhere. And thank you, Randy, for what you do.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
We need more people like you, just driving the bus and getting people to try to get some ears on this stuff. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, thank you.